Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Sports Debates. Today is the NFL season preview episode. We're going to share our division winners, who we think is going to make the Super Bowl, as well as some award predictions. So we're getting ready for the season. It's coming up soon. I think next Thursday is the first game. So a lot to look forward to, some tight division races, a lot of teams that could make a run for the Super Bowl. So let's start in the AFC. So start with the East. Right now, it seems to be the Bills' division to win. So, Aiden, you start us off. Your thoughts, if anyone else could possibly take over their spot.
Yeah, I think the Bills, in my opinion, have pretty much locked this up. I mean, anything can happen. It's the NFL. Josh Allen could get hurt, and their season might be over. But their team is just very solid overall. Good wide receivers. O-line's good. Josh Allen is maybe top 5 quarterback in the league. Defense should be back, better than last year. So yeah, I'd say Bills, my number one, and then I guess Dolphins and Patriots might be fighting for a wild card spot there, and possibly the division. But I just think the Bills are miles ahead of those two teams.
Yeah, Aiden, I would have to agree with you on that. The Bills just have a better overall team, defense, offense, good running backs, good wide receivers, a good quarterback. Overall, just one of the best teams in that division. And I think I'm actually going to put Dolphins over Patriots if Tua can stay healthy. But I think he might be in the wild card. Honestly.
I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but I have to say the Patriots are going to win that. I feel like it's one of those sneaky teams. Like, it's one of those, oh, they're good, but they're not going to really win that. And I feel like they possibly could.
Now, Dwayne, who are you starting at quarterback? Jones or Newton?
For right now, Newton, but I'm going to start to look at Jones a lot more. Yeah, I really think Jones could potentially be really good. So I'll just start Newton for the beginning of the season and then have Jones come in every once in a while. See what happens.
All right, yeah, I definitely agree with the other two on Bills. I mean, the wide receiver core, they got Diggs, who RB top 3, and then Sanders, Beasley. They're not necessarily best of the best, but they still create a great wide receiver core. So I think it's theirs to win, and I think they're a lock. All right, on to the West, which is another division with kind of an easy lock. Chiefs, defending AFC champs, won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. So I think we can all agree Chiefs have that division. But of the other 3 teams, Emmanuel, who can get closest to dethroning the Chiefs?
There's nobody else on it but the Chargers. Let's be honest. It has to be the Chargers. Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, a good defense, Asante Samuel Jr., a rookie coming into corner position for the Chargers. It has to be the Chargers. The Broncos aren't going to go anywhere for a couple of years. Raiders have some potential, but it's not just years that to show any threat to any of the other teams on there. So it has to be the Chargers.
I have to agree. I mean, I'm looking at these other teams and I'm like, but it's the Chiefs. So yeah, Broncos might have a chance, but I'm not. And Raiders, good luck. But Chargers, I'm thinking Chargers are definitely have the most chance because it's just like it's the Chiefs. What else are you supposed to do?
Yeah, and something that hasn't been mentioned too much about the Chiefs is just that they rely a lot on Hill and Kelsey. And I feel like if either one of them got hurt, their offense wouldn't be as good. I know they have Mahomes, who's the best quarterback in the league, maybe the most talented we've seen. But I don't know. I feel like they rely a lot on Kelsey. They rely a lot on Hill. And their defense, I think, it's good. It's not amazing. Last year they struggled to run the football. I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is definitely one of their breakout candidates. If he does well, they might be on route to the Super Bowl. And I love the Chargers. I agree with both of you. Chargers, I think one of the most fun teams going into this year. They improved their offensive line a lot, which was really bad last year. And yeah, I don't think the Broncos or the Raiders can really compete with anything. If I'm picking my two wild card spots, one of them I have the Chargers as one of the wild card spots.
All right, so now to the North. Now this is kind of the first tight race we have. We have the Ravens, the Browns, and the Steelers. The Bengals are not going to be competing this year, but so out of those three, Steelers won last year. Browns and Ravens both made the playoffs as well. So these three teams, they could all make the playoffs, but we're focusing right now on who wins that division. Aiden, you start us off.
It's a two-horse race. It's between the Ravens and the Browns. I think the Steelers were really lucky to get as far as they did last year, going like 12-0 to start the season, and they just collapsed the rest of the way, including the playoffs, which they lost to the Browns. If I had to pick one, I think I would go the Browns. I think their defense got a lot better. They added Jadeveon Clowney, who hasn't lived up to expectations as a number one pick, but still, he can really help them. Their defensive line is insane. Myles Garrett also on that. He's good. And the Ravens, their receiving core isn't great. Lamar is a great quarterback, but can he be MVP caliber again, like to lead his team forward? I'm not sure. So I think Ravens and Browns are close, but if I had to pick one, I'd pick the Browns.
Yeah, honestly, I would have to go with you that I have to go with you there too, because well, it's the Browns, OBJ Jr. They would have Nick Chubbs, Baker Mayfield, and then again, like you said about the defense, Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney, who's from Seahawks, and he did well there, but he didn't do as well as expected. So I think you have to go with the Browns or the Ravens, because the Ravens they're not the best team, but they're just the most popular team. So I think that's what's going to happen.
I'm gonna agree with y'all, but I do not like Baker Mayfield with every cent of my body. But I have to say that the Browns have the most reasonable way to win that. Now, do I want the Ravens to win? Yes, because I just really like Lamar and what he could be. But if I'm looking at what not what I want, but what is going to happen, it's going to be the Browns.
Yeah, it's a four-way sweep on that. I agree. I'm not big on football, so I was looking up like best offensive lines, best defensive teams, because I knew nothing about that. And it seemed that Cleveland was up there in top three offensive lines for most of the lists that I saw. So that alongside, I love Beckham and Landry duo and wide receiver, Nick Chubb at running back. They got a lockdown offense, and defense seemed to be up there too. So I think they're a really complete team in that sense. All right, so finally to the South. Now, last year, the Titans and the Colts were really just evenly locked for getting into the playoffs now. And it seems to be the case again for this year. According to Vegas Insider, they both have an over-under win of 9. And then, of course, the Jaguars and Texans, they're kind of, well, at least Jaguars seem to be up and coming with Lawrence. So, Manuel, who is the South champion?
I'm going to go with the Titans. I'm going with the Titans because, well, the Colts have somebody I don't trust as a quarterback whatsoever. He had one good year, then the rest was terrible, just terrible. So, and I think the Titans have a practically unstoppable run. Good defense. They need to work on their pass game a little more, but I think they can beat the Colts easily.
I gotta say the Colts. I mean, I just believe it's a really tight race, and between the two teams, who I think could actually finish a game correctly is the Colts. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but it seems like they're that type of team. Like, if it's a close game, they're gonna fight for it. and they're gonna win that game. That's just me. The Titans, I feel like they would let up at the end if they had a substantial lead, like 7-point game. I feel like they would just be like, okay, and go in chillax mode. I feel like the Colts would eat that up and proceed to win the game.
Yeah, this division it kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie. It's the Texans are a dumpster fire. The Jags, I think, are good, but not yet, right? Like Trevor Lawrence, he's a rookie. I don't think he's gonna win the division. And then the Colts, I don't trust Wentz or whoever is gonna play if Wentz misses a game or two. I like their offense just doesn't have that much talent. Like their receiving core is lacking a bit. And their defense is good, but it's just too much to put on Wentz. Like we've already seen Wentz do badly last year. And I'm gonna have to go with the Titans. I'm gonna have to agree with Emmanuel because I think that they got Julio Jones, which we surprised nobody's mentioned that yet. So they might not rely on Derrick Henry as much. They might pass the ball more. But just think about that. If you have AJ Brown, Derrick Henry, and Julio Jones as a 3 is insane. So I think their offense is going to be unstoppable, but their defense is bottom 5 in the league, and that's what scares me about them. So if they score enough points, it might not matter, but I think I'll pick the Titans as my division winner. The Colts, if Wentz is somehow 2017 Wentz, sure, they'll win the division, but that's a lot to ask.
Yeah, well, based on how Philly luck goes, he'll probably go on and be a superstar and never get hurt again once he leaves us. But
At least we get a first round pick. So
that's true. Yeah, I gotta go with Titans too. I mean that offense is scary, and I think it's just it overpowers the talent of the Colts defense. All right, so with all the teams here in the AFC, there will be 3 more teams that make the wild card. So go through your predictions, or well, if you have them for 3 wildcard teams, and then who is the AFC champion to represent them in the Super Bowl. Manuel?
I honestly do not know. I feel like it's going to be the Chargers as the one to represent them all for the wild card at least. And I have no idea. I just can't tell. It's such a close race with so many good teams. I can't tell.
So for the wild card, I don't know really what I had the okay. I'm gonna say the Steelers. I feel like they could definitely get there, but winning it all and that in the AFC. That's kind of tough because I'm like, I want to say Chiefs, but I feel like the Bills have a strong chance. Even though I said Patriots, it's a bit of a flip flop with the Bills and Patriots. But you know what? I'm gonna go with Chiefs. I feel like Chiefs could win in that division.
Yeah, for wild card, I think the Ravens would be the number 1. The Chargers number 2, so they win 10, maybe 11 games, and then the Patriots number 3. Even if they win 10 games, I think they're in the wild card. So do you mean win it all from the wild card or just anybody in the AFC?
No, the AFC champ.
Okay, I'm gonna stick to my guns. I'm gonna say the Bills. The Bills could put together an amazing season. Have a good chance of getting to the Super Bowl. They have a plus 650 to get to the Super Bowl. 200 plus 200 for the Chiefs, which is very high. But yeah, I think the Bills. I'm gonna go with the Bills. It's close between the Bills and the Chiefs.
For wild card, I have Ravens as well, Chargers, and I had the Colts sneaking in there. I think this is 100% based on Carson Wentz's health. I think that defense can get them a couple more wins and get them in there. And I'm going with the Chiefs again. Yeah, I considered Bills, but I think Chiefs are just so overpowered. You got to put them in there. All right, so the NFC. Let's start with the worst division in the league, the NFC East. Just like the Phillies division, it's just a team full of weak, injury prone. You don't even know what they are. So the NFC East. Vegas Insider has the Cowboys with the highest win total odds at 9. Then the football team, then the Giants, then the Eagles. And the Eagles are getting a lot of smack. This has 6.5. I've seen people giving them 3 wins. So, Dwayne, who wins the awful NFC East?
If healthy, the Cowboys. But here's the thing. I don't think they're going to be that healthy this year. I believe the Washington football team would win that. It sounds weird, but I just think they would win that if the Cowboys are not healthy. Obviously, if the Cowboys are healthy, that's an easy win. But other than that, not healthy, Washington football team.
I think I'm gonna agree. I think the football team of Washington takes a division because I think their defense is one of the best in the league. They showed that last year. They're really good. And then number 2 would be the Cowboys. We underestimated their offense last year. Dak was really good before he got hurt. But even then, they weren't even winning the games that they were putting up a lot of points in. Like they went 1-3, I think, in the games that Dak played. And so that just shows how bad their defense is and that other teams can just score more points in that defense. In last place for this division, since it is our division, I'll just say I have the Giants. I think they rely too much on Daniel Jones. Their offensive line isn't good. And I feel like the Eagles this year aren't going to be terrible. I feel like 8-8 for the Eagles would be a good season. And like, I think that's realistic. Their defense is underrated. They got a lot of older, but I think good guys. They brought in a couple new players on the defense. And then I think Jalen Hurts is just going to be a matchup nightmare with his ability to run. I think Devonta Smith is going to have a really good year, but I don't think they're winning the division. 8-8 would be a successful season to me. But I'd take the football team as the first place in the NFC East.
I think y'all are seriously discrediting Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, the Eagles' improvement on the offensive line, our improvement in defense, mind you. We don't blitz much, but we always get pressure on the quarterback, no matter what. I think due to Cowboys' injury problem with the quarterback of Dak Prescott, I hope he doesn't get hurt because I really like him, even though he's a Cowboys player. I think the Eagles will come out the division this time. But it's mostly because, and then if we can stay healthy, because I saw our offensive line get so much better during the preseason. Even though I know it's preseason, you only look to see who you can keep and who you can't keep. I think the football team will probably come out second due to their defense. If they can come out well, and if their quarterback can do well, I think they can come out second. But Giants are undoubtedly the worst team in the division.
Yeah, I have similar with Dwayne. I have the Cowboys if healthy. I mean, if Dak can be Dak and not get hurt, not, have any lingering injuries from last year. That offense is really good. You got Zeke, Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup. I mean, that's just not necessarily big names, but they're all really good at their position. But if Dak or one of the key receivers gets hurt, then I do have the Washington football team winning the division. Got Fitzmagic taking them all the way. At least. All right, so the NFC West. This is arguably the tightest division in football. The Rams, Niners, Seahawks are all having a win total either 10 or 10.5. So they're all really tight there. And then you have the Cardinals, not too far behind at 8.5. So Aiden, who do you have winning the NFC West?
I think the Rams. I really like the 49ers, but they were hinging too much on a rookie quarterback. The Rams got to the Super Bowl with Jared Goff, Jared Goff, mind you. And now they're getting Matthew Stafford, who I think is infinitely better than Jared Goff. So I just think that makes too much difference. Last year they were good. Did they make the playoffs last year? I don't remember. But I think that the Rams will just be that much better with Goff. Their defense is really good. Aaron Donald, another MVP season last year, and their defense looked amazing. Jalen Ramsey, one of the best, if not the best corner in the league. I had to pick the Rams. Their offense is just really good. Their running back situation is a bit scary, but I think that will matter. And then the Seahawks are just the Seahawks at this point. I can't tell you they're going to win 13 games because they haven't done it in a while. There might be 2 wildcard teams in this division. I don't know. It's very hard to tell. I think any team in this division could win. But if I had to pick one, it'd be the Rams.
I'm going to have to go with the underdog in this situation. I think that might be the Cardinals due to their offensive capabilities. DeAndre Hopkins, Kyle Murray, a man, he may be short, but he'd be running down the field, throwing it down the field incredibly well. I think they improved a lot, so I think it's going to be the Cardinals. I think they might be able to pull out. The 49ers, I think they can do well or something with Trey Lance. Seahawks, I'm not sure. They didn't do anything over the free agency. They got Russ back. That's it. They still have a problem with their O-line. So I don't think they'll be that good this year. No discredit to Russell Wilson, though. He's one of the best quarterbacks. So he might disprove me. But that's my take.
I'm gonna say the 49ers. I going into last season, I had high hopes for them, but I'm hoping going to this season, they would fulfill that sort of again. I really do want them to win, like that whole division. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have them close second, and I would be fine if they would win that whole division.
Now, Dwayne, just like with the Patriots, who's their starting quarterback for most of the season, Garoppolo or Lance?
Garoppolo. I would say this. It's one of those. If you like with the one before with the Patriots, it's a bit different. Like you could actually flip flop in the game, have one play one quarter and another play another. I mean, just to see how it works in the beginning of the season, and then closer to the middle of the season, you're like, okay, we want this guy in. And I'm not sure who that guy actually will be. I actually have no clue.
I just want to say something just right quick. I think it's hard to say, but Trey Lance, I was watching his preseason game, all of them actually. He has a very good passing arm. His passes are most of the time on point. He has a bullet so fast if you blink, you'll miss it. And I just don't see Jimmy G being able to do that. I feel like Trey Lance is much more mobile.
I would say because Jimmy G kind of has the experience. That's
you're right. You're right with that.
That's why I would say you flip flop them every quarter.
So a dual quarterback offense.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see it.
All right. Yeah, who did I have? I have the Rams. I really like their offense. I mean, they have an elite wide receiver duo, and they have 2 of the best defenders in the game. And Matthew Stafford is a great addition at quarterback. So I really think they can go pretty far in the playoffs. All right, the NFC North. So Packers are the favorites with 10 wins, but the Vikings are right behind them with 9. So Emmanuel, who wins the NFC North?
I'm going with, can't believe I'm actually going against Aaron Rodgers on this one, but the Vikings. It's just it's just because they actually have such a good wide receiver core. Think about it. Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, and then they have Dalvin Cooks as a running back. The man is impeccable as a running back. The Packers has an unwilling Aaron Rodgers to play for the team. Devontae Adams is probably sick and tired of the Packers already. Their defense, I do have to give credit to the defense. Their defense is really good. But I just don't see it. Like, how are you going to have a quarterback on your team that doesn't want to be with the team? It's just not going to be he's a great quarterback, but I just don't see it. I feel like they're going to be second, possibly to the Bears, depending on how they're going to get their axe to them. The Packers are going to be second, but the Bears are probably going to be like third, depending on how they do with their quarterback situation.
Obviously, I have the Packers based off my reaction, but I know my mom would want me to pick the Bears because of Andy Dalton. Don't ask me why.
Justin Fields better.
I agree. I mean, it's the Packers. You have just a lethal offense, if you really think about it, and all right defense. Like, I mean, I really don't have anything to say. I kind of just said, okay, just the Packers because they're the Packers. But
Manuel coming in with the fantasy football bias. He's got Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson on his fantasy team.
It's just that they're so good. I mean, Justin Jefferson last year as a rookie broke so many records as it is. I think he's really underrated for how well he plays.
Yeah, that doesn't matter, in my opinion. Just two guys don't make a winning team. Otherwise, like McCaffrey and
technically three if you're counting Adam Thielen too.
I guess, but
compared to the Packers, how many? Devontae Adams and unwilling quarterback.
You're really trying to sweeten this up, bro.
What are you, bro? Okay,
I'm just saying.
Tell me that Kirk Cousins, Cook, and Jefferson are not better than the MVP, the best receiver in the league, and Aaron Jones. Because I would take that three over the Vikings three every day, regardless of whoever else.
He's got a point to me.
But you also got to factor in that this quarterback of theirs doesn't want to play for them.
He was mad. He was mad last year, and he won the MVP. He was mad at the team and won the MVP out of spite against the team. Their defense is miles above the.
I'm just gonna hit Vikings. You up if they ever play and the Vikings somehow win. I'm gonna hit you up and be like, "Did you just watch the game?" Yeah, because you know who just won.
It's the Packers. They run away with it, in my opinion. The Packers, they're miles above the Vikings. I like the Vikings offense, but it's Kirk Cousins and their defense isn't good. Aaron Rodgers is so much better than Kirk Cousins. Their defense is so much better than the Vikings. I have to go the Packers by 3 games. I like the Bears, by the way. I think Justin Fields could be really good this year if he plays.
If he doesn't start, I might cry.
Yeah, I got the Packers too. Gotta love the duo there, Rodgers and Adams. I mean, I think it's just even if the Vikings do have a good season, the Packers would just be better. I mean, there's no question on that. All right, so wrapping it up with the NFC South, the defending Super Bowl champs Buccaneers projected 12 wins. The next closest is the Saints with 9. So Dwayne, Buccaneers, right?
Obviously. I mean, they're the reigning champs. They're supposed to be the reigning champs. And listen, I'm a good Tom Brady fan. I'll say good. I'm not a super, but I'm a good. And when I look at this, I'm seeing, well, they're 3 above the Saints, which is that's something. Panthers ain't doing nothing, and the Falcons definitely aren't doing anything. I mean, I would give the Saints a second but obviously that's just because everybody else there sucks. I mean, maybe give the Panthers a try, but not really. Other than that, yeah, obviously Buccaneers. I feel like they should win it all, but it's the NFL, so I'm not exactly sure.
All right, I'm coming in with a hot take. This is my NFC South. Buccaneers 1, Falcons 2, Panthers 3, and Saints 4. Okay. I know that's hot. Their quarterback situation is a mess. Okay. But if you're picking between Jameis and Taysom Hill, who isn't a quarterback, you have a problem. Their receiving core is awful. Michael Thomas is going to miss the first month. They might go 0-4 in that stretch. Their defense is aging. Their defense was I'm going to say it. Their defense was bad last year. All right. They lost to the Eagles. They lost to us. Okay. I think the Saints, without Drew Brees, even if they had Drew Brees, I don't think they would be that good. Another thing, I like the Falcons. I think the Falcons, they have Kyle Pitts coming in, who I think might be really good. The Falcons were really unlucky last year. They went like 1-6 in one-score games. Okay, if you flip that around, they go 6-1. I think they win the division over the Buccaneers. That's how unlucky they were last year. And then the Panthers, I think, will be decent. Christian McCaffrey coming back from his injury. Defense is young, but might break out. And then their quarterback situation, Darnold could be good. You never know. Maybe the Saints won't come in fourth, but they're not getting second. I feel like the Panthers or the Falcons have too much potential and room to grow. And the Saints don't. Jameis might throw 20 picks or 30 picks again this year, and might hinder them like badly.
I know I'm known for my crazy takes here, my hot takes, but this one, geez, this is crazier than when I said Russell Westbrook was top 5. Bucks, number 1, of course, no doubt. Saints, number 2. Jameis Winston will be the starter, no questions asked. After watching what I saw during that game, this man was throwing these passes that should not have been caught to a rookie who was in the late round. I never thought I would see such a odd duo before, but that was it. That was the duo right there. So I think the Saints will come second. The Panthers, Christian McCaffrey, and I might even put the Falcons over them because honestly, the Panthers just suck at the moment.
If I could change that, I'm saying Buccaneers win. I think they're going to win the division pretty handedly. Their defense is insane. Their offense is really good. I'll put the Saints at 3. Okay, you guys might not know, but the offensive coordinator from the Titans is now the offensive coordinator, or no, he's the head coach of the Falcons. So Arthur Smith, the one that organized that Titans offense, is now their head coach. So I think that might make a big difference. And I just can't put anything on Jameis right now. And their offense is just looking bad apart from Kamara. So Buccaneers, Falcons, we'll say Saints, and then I guess Panthers. But the Panthers might be good too. You never know.
All right, yeah, I have Buccaneers winning. Okay. Real quick here, we've got about 3 minutes. Quickly say your wild card and the NFC champions if you have the wild card set. So, Aiden, want to start?
My brother was just like crying right now. I don't know. Sorry. So my wild card, I'm gonna say all wild card teams are gonna come from the NFC West. I feel like the NFC West is really good. I don't know how they're gonna win enough games. I just can't see another team competing for the wild card. Maybe it feels like the next best team might come from our division, like the Cowboys and the Washington football team might be both in the playoffs. You never know. So I think that NFC West will at least have 3 playoff teams. And then for Super Bowl, I kind of like the Packers. I feel like Aaron Rodgers and more around Aaron Rodgers might just do better. I think their defense, I think they might get to the Super Bowl. And then from there, you never know.
I will probably go with, let's see, probably the Seahawks, maybe the 49ers. I do really appreciate the 49ers' new offense and quarterback. But for me, who would win it all in that division? Probably the Buccaneers. Again, no surprise. Same offense, same defense.
I kind of agree with Aiden when it comes to the wild card. I just really don't see a lot of other teams. But obviously it's the Bucks. I mean, what else am I supposed to say? I mean, you could say the Packers, like Aiden said, but other than that, it's not looking too good.
Yeah, for wild card, I did the same as Aiden and you. I have 4 teams out of the West: Seahawks, Niners, Cardinals, all wild card. My champion, I'm going with the Rams. I really like it. I like the wide receiver core. As I said earlier, the defense is top of the league, and I think they're going to get back to the Super Bowl. Okay, so with a minute 30 left, Emmanuel, you start with your rookie of the year and your MVP. Hopefully, we'll have another episode to dwell more on this, but who do you have right now, Emmanuel?
Justin Fields is my rookie of the year, hands down. And then Mahomes, I will go with Derrick Henry.
Okay.
I have Fields also. But I have Rodgers winning it.
Ooh. Okay.
I have Lance. I think that the 49ers will be really good. I think he'll be good enough to win the MVP or Rookie of the Year. And then MVP, I have Josh Allen. I don't know. I feel like that offense might be really good. He might have insane stats. I think he'll win the MVP.
All right, rookie of the year, I did the same. I did Trey Lance based entirely off of if Garoppolo doesn't work out. I think he'll start enough games and he'll lead them to the playoffs. And then MVP, I just went with Mahomes. I think we'll get another one. All right, so that's it for this episode of Sports Debates. NFL season is upon us. Till next time.